See, first of all, like what we have to do, like I'll come into the HTML file and we'll take a form. Okay, otherwise I'll create it. Huh? It will fine, it will not take a time. This is on the form and I'll take it like the basic details. It's a name, email and contact. Okay, so this is basic details. We'll take it to the input type is text. Now we'll pass one class, bootstrap class, form control. We'll copy this and one submit button. Correct, na? This is on the form. Yes. So after this, like what you have to do, like see, like there are like the three fields for the name, email and contact. So how do you configure with the, like the template driven forms? As they said, like it's needed like the two-way data binding. Okay, so for the two-way data binding, like what we'll do, like we'll come into the TS and we'll import the forms module. Correct. So two-way binding also like we'll get it, and also like we'll get it this template driven forms. Both they were targeting. So for every input, like what we have to do, like for collecting the informations, we have to take it like the one attribute that is name as name only. Like in JSP and also like in a Spring also, like we have seen that name all attributes. So take, let's say it is name, the same like we have to copy it. Here we will take it. It's contact. Next is what, like we want the two-way data binding. So instead of directly passing the two-way data binding, like what I am doing, I am just taking the reference. So how we were taking the reference? Do you remember the template reference variable? Like we were taking the reference to the hash, na? So I am just passing the hash here and I am taking the reference from this particular name. Is equals to, I'll pass here ngModel. But now ngModel will give the error here, because ngModel is not defined. So here what I have to do, before this, just pass there ngModel. Now it will work. Okay, so I have just passed ngModel reference to the name property. Why it is? So whenever you are writing something, so it will show like the form or details. So you can check now whether the details is going or not, whatever the details we are typing into the forms. So that details like will get it. For the same, like we will just register this ngModel, or else you can directly go for that banana brackets for directly. That will also work. Hash here, like we are registering the email. Correct. So same thing like we have to do for contact. Here we are changing the reference. Got it. So like I have passed like the reference over there. After that, like I'll come into the form. So what I'm going to do like over there, like I'm just going to collect whole information at the same time. Like we are not collecting individual fields over there. So for collecting whole information, again like we'll take help of the hash template reference. Let's say my reference name is what? My form. But for collecting the informations, like which keyword, like we have to take a help over there? ng form, na there, which we written over there. That is, we have to write the ng form. So ng form, it is like the inbuilt keyword which is provided by the template driven forms. So now the ng form, it is collecting like whole information and it's storing into the my form template reference. Okay, and here like we have to pass like the event, the submit events. Instead of passing the click event, what we have to do, like see, if you are going for the click event, so like we have to pass inside the submit button, na? But here we are passing the event inside the form. So again, the Angular form, they have provided like this ng submit wala events. You can directly pass this ng submit. Ng submit means what? When we'll submit the form, so it will happen like the event, na, whichever will be there. I'll just pass check. let's say check is my function, user defined function, and I'm passing one parameter. Which parameter we have to pass? My form dot value. So here it will collect like whole value of the form, and below this I'm just passing the here pipe, that is my form dot value. It will collect the my form wala value, and we have to just convert into the JSON. So it will give the data in a form of JSON only. But again, for the JSON, like we required one more directives here, that is common module. So there is no check function, so like we have to create it here. I'll add it here, the check function. Let's say there is one data and data type is any, and we'll just console it whether data is getting or not. Console.log will display this data. Okay, so it will collect like whole data from the form. We'll check it. JSON pipe, it is not shown. This is JSON pipe here. Okay, so here you can see like whichever the data like you will type here, you can see here like with the help of the two-way data binding. So the email ID, contact number, and now we have to check where in a console. Let's submit it. So you can see the data is collected here, name, email, and contact number. Understood this? As like it's working like you have the serialized function in a jQuery. No need to collect like individual fields here, so everything like we can collect it like in a single line only, and this data like we have to send to the API like when we will do the consuming wala parts. Are you getting this? So it's very simple here. It's not very complicated work. But again, it is one difficult work, that is template driven. Once you go for the reactive forms which is making very simple one, because it's not performing this thing here. It's just directly going in a TypeScript sites, in backend sites. Clear? So this is helpful for like let's say like there are 1,000 fields, so like I cannot create this everything anytime, every time like this. Again, for handling the validation also like the validation we have to set up in the HTML itself. We cannot set up validation in the TypeScript. So that's why it is very complicated one, the template driven forms. So that's why it is just like introduced for like the small level application, not for the large scale application. So for the large scale application, it is just suggested to go with the reactive forms only. Understood this? This is one the template driven forms. Just make it first, so like we'll pass the validation on it. So for the validation purpose, see guys, listen. So for the validation, like don't pass the validation in a Spring. You can directly handle the validation here itself after consuming. It's very simple for handling the validation here. Clear? So like the Spring validata, it will just go for the backend only. It will not check for the validation. Yes, see how to pass. So first of all, I'm just going to pass a validation for the name. So we are just making required. Do you remember these things from the HTML side, like we have to make it like the required only. Okay, so now this field is required. Let's check it. But after that, I'm just asking for this input box, like when the error should be shown. If my field is required, so like we are just going to pass some like the validation classes here. When this error should be shown. So for that, here I'm taking the help of one bootstrap class. Okay, we are taking the help of one the property binding. Here class dot is hyphen invalid. So this is one like the bootstrap inbuilt class is invalid class. So what it will check? when this input box should be invalid, when it will be invalid, when we have to be write something here. Hmm? So first upon I'll check कि I have shared like the reference for this name wala field na here. When name dot is invalid, so I'm calling like one property that is invalid. If my name is invalid, then only it should be say like it is invalid, or and here I am taking name dot touch. Is this correct? Touch or untouch? Touch means what? When we touch the input box, then only it will hit it, na? So see, after rendering your form, we cannot say it is invalid one. Yes or no? They should be touch that field, na? At least. When they will touch, then only like we can just consider like they are not filling out any details over there. So then only we can say na that the field is invalid. So here what we have to put like the or and. And means it will check for the both, na then. Or means it will check either for this one or this one. So see, like if I pass the name dot touch, or if it is invalid, but see like when it will get invalid, when it will get touch, na. So it should be like and. See, first I'll check for this box. This is one input box. See, now it is not showing anything. But suppose if you pass like the logical OR here. Okay, so like now see here how the result is showing. It's showing invalid. See, I have not still like anything like I have did now over there. So it should be not show like it's not invalid. Yes or no? So at least like it should be checked like when I'll touch this field, then only it should be say na it is invalid. So like I'll pass instead of or like it will pass and na here. So see now like when I'll come into this input box and when I'll come out, then it is invalid. Yes, understood or not? Yes. Correct. So how will I get the error message here? Now the box is showing like the invalid, na, that it, because of like it is invalid. How will I get the error message here? Can I take help of the span tag? Span. Again here we needed like the one class, bootstrap class will take help. Or you can also pass the ngIf. ngIf will also help, na? When this class should be like valid or invalid, that message. So here I am passing field is required. If you pass like the required only, so it will every time it will show like the required, na? It is not checking like when it should be show that required wala field. So here either you can pass like the if, ngIf, or else you can go for like the bootstrap class. It's the same class dot d-none. This is one of like the bootstrap class. So what is saying the d-none means when this error message should be not show. When this error message should be not show. When my name is valid or and. Again and will check like both of the property na here. So here I am checking if my name is valid, then also it should be considered na there. Or untouched. Correct. So we are checking for the OR condition. So we'll see whether it is getting displayed or not. It's not showing. So when I'll come into this box, just come out. it's required. Correct. So it will not wait to like go on submit button and then it will hit it, because the two-way data binding is there. It will hit your inputs. Are you getting this? It's too effective. Like so, like we can pass like the one class also here for red color message. Which class we have to pass? Text hyphen danger. Just come out of this. So when you fill out something, again just come out. Understood this? It's one required field. Again see like what I want, like if my the some validations are there na, if it is my form is invalid na, so like the button should be get disabled. How will we disable this button? This is my submit button na here. Here I am calling like one disable wala property. When it will be disabled? What? I am checking for my form na. Will not check for the individual field. Will check for the entire form. When my form is invalid. It is required. So like let's fill out something. Can you see their button? It's enabled now. Again it's disabled. It's not for the color only, it's disabled. You cannot click na this button. Now it is disabled. Like when you enter something, so now it is enabled. The button is clickable now. It's understood or not? Yes. But again the same, for handling this validation, it is good practice to go with the like reactive forms only, not for the template driven forms. See now here the form wala code, like who one will understand this? Here only like we are adding everything na. Again suppose I wanted to add other validation. So again you can pass like the regular expression fields also, the patterns, you know the patterns na, that patterns like we were checking, that also you can pass it. But where I'll check, see it's going like it's very lengthy fields. Correct. So like we should be go for the reactive, which is best practice for us. First try this one, then like we'll go for the reactive and we'll pass all the validation in the reactive forms only. Again I will create one form, simple form. I am adding only 2 fields. Okay, so here there is input box, class, okay. Yes, all of you see first, it's different one, the working is different. We'll take one button, input type submit. This is done. See, like this is the basic form now. So how do we convert into the reactive? So for the reactive forms requirement, like what we want first, need to import one module na, that is reactive forms module. So we'll import this reactive forms module, which is providing the form group. Okay, so which is one required na basically. So I'll come into this now, and in a, see here in a name, like no need to pass like the name wala attribute now. It's not needed. Even the two-way data binding is also like not needed. Just like what we'll do here, we have to pass like the form group. Can you see there? This form group, and in that like you have to store like the data, like let's say my form, like as we share like the reference na there, my form. So here now form group is collecting the data and we are storing into the my form. The same ng submit will pass one function, and here is my form dot pass one JSON pipe, So here my form is what? My form is not property, it's like the object. You have to create the object of my form. It will collect like two properties, na, here name and contact wala properties. So here in every input box, like you have to pass like one attribute that is called as form control name. It's called as controls. So like instead of name wala attribute, like we'll pass form control name. Okay, this only like you have to pass, not other things. And here like we'll pass one control name is what? Let's say contact. Okay. After this I'll come into the TS only. This part is done from this side. Here the main work is there. So we have to create the object of my form. So I am creating the object of my form is equals to, so my form is not my form is nothing but it's my form group na here. So here you have to create the object of form group, bracket open close, curly braces open close, and you have to break the structures. So here is my form is my object. After this, what controls like I have set up over there that in a form control name. One was the name na, colon, you have to create object of form control. So everything like you have to handle by this backend sides only, TS sides. And one more, that is equals to new form control, it's colon. Okay, so that's it. So now my form wala part is done here. We'll get the reference. Now for the JSON, like we want the reference na, again here one module, common module, and next we want the check function here. Here my data na, here parameter, and it will display it. Correct? That's it. So like see, we'll get the data from this form. For the validation, like how do we pass the validation here? So like in a template driven pass, like a template driven form, we were passing validation inside the input box itself na? But here like we have to handle everything from the TS sides. So for that, like what we have to do, like we'll come into this brackets. So now I'm validating this name wala property na here. So for that, like what I'll do, like I'll just give the comma here. Okay, see like how it will look first, like I'll show you. Can you see that it's showing null name and this data na here. We'll take here break. Okay, it's showing null, but like we have to just keep it like the some empty value. So like how we have to handle this? From this na, it's my form control, like we'll make it the empty. So instead of null, like now it will show the empty. So you can pass like any property here. See, as we return, like we have, it's not needed any two-way data binding. So without two-way data binding also it's handling this thing. Correct na? Without ngModel. In a template driven form it was needed. But here the thing is what, like how do I handle the validation? So for the validation, as I said, like no need to go in the like the form. We have to handle everything from the TS side. So like here only, just we'll take a help of the one validators class, validators. And through the validators, like we have to pass any validation there, which one like we are one now required. So now required, like no need to pass this required in a templates in a form. Correct? Just need to handle this. How do we validate this field? Either you can go with the ngIf or which was the class dot dnone for not showing na, and for checking the validation is invalid na, when it will be invalid. But here see, you can see like here like there is no reference for the name property. We are just connecting this property with the backend na, from the TS. But what about like the reference is not this. Like here, like if you try to pass it na, name dot invalid, it will give the error because there is no reference for the name. Then the name wala property like we have to access from the my form na, because it is a property which is present inside the object. Correct. So like here, instead of passing the my form na, see like what we have to do, like the easy way, just pass the getter property here. Setter property is already there na, we have set the properties. We'll use the getter setters. So how to pass the getter property for in Angular? Just pass the get. Okay, get for the getter property, and the property is created by the same property name. Okay, so what is my property name? For which property, like I'm making this property name na, and we have to return this field. The getter is working like that na. In core Java, like how we are creating the getter property, like that only. The setter is already there. So what do we have to return? But name we cannot return na directly. The name is present inside the object, my form objects. So I'll first access the object this dot controls, and from that controls like we'll get this name. It's the getter property. See, actually it is like the main better way, like which is preferred by the developers, because it's storing everything inside the object na. The previous wala form it was not storing inside the object. Here now this object you can share like anywhere. See, now it will handle it. It will not give the error. It's returning the name wala property here. Here and na name dot untouched. That's only. So you can pass like any validation here. See, like now, suppose if I wanted to pass like more validation, like now I have passed like the required wala na. So how do I go with the like more validator here? Now there is only the required. So if you pass like the comma, so again it will take like the parameters na, it will check for the number of parameters. So instead of passing the comma, like just take it in a array, and now here give the comma. Validators dot, here you can see like many validations are there. Max length, how much you want? Let's say 10 maximum. It's touch or untouched? What we pass here? It's touch na. Correct na? When it will be touch. So when I'll come into this, let's come out. So here you can see the maximum length is 10. You cannot go more than 10. Yes, understood or not? This is the second validation is happening na there. But if I want like the error message for the both the validators, how will you validate here? So can I pass ngIf here? I think common module we have imported na there, common module. So we can use ngIf also. What condition we have to pass? When the message will show this required wala. When name is invalid na. See, it is not now like we are checking, just check for the condition. ngIf means what? When it will validate na this condition. If my name is invalid and name dot touch, that property was different na, d-none. Here like we are showing it's ngIf. Here also you can pass the ngIf na there, instead of passing the invalids, just pass the condition there. Take this break tag here. First we'll click, once will come out, then like it will validate this. But see, for the again for the second validation also it's showing the same error message. So the in ngIf also like we have to check the two both are like the different error messages, na? We have to check like which validation like we are passing. Is this required wala or like is this max length wala validation? So now here it's not checking. It's just checking like some validation is happening. So you have to just display the message only. Correct. So how do we go with that then? How do we check? First do these things, then we'll handle that individual errors. There are many validators. You can add the patterns also here. See, just give the comma. Validators dot pattern. Just pass your pattern here. Regular expression pattern, regex pattern. Are you getting this? See, like it's very simple way. Like everything like you have to do from the TypeScript sites, not from the template sites. So now our template is free. Huh? Which one get name? It's getter property, name property. I am using na here. So because name wala reference we have not passed because two-way data binding it's automatically handled na here. In previous template driven forms like we are passing a hash. The reference was going. Here the reference was not going. So here it's saying like you need to return this name wala property from where it is getting written.
Where we are catching this
My form, this. Here we are returning and it's getting written into here. We are using here, this one. So this is one way. The second way is what you can directly write here, the myform dot name, like that which property you are writing. But don't do that things, like it will be the fine because if it was a getter property here in a TS set, so you can use that properties then. Clear? So like try to write everything, many things like in a TypeScript files only. Don't write in a like HTML file. Just make it clean, this HTML file. If you remove this validation, so again it will make it like clean scene. You can see only the control name is there, form control name, nothing other details. Again here you can see the in a TS file we are creating object like this, na, the form, new form group. Again for the every control we are writing form control, correct? So this also we can reduce this code. So for that Angular they have introduced the form builder. So form builder is saying like no need to write these things also, form control. We'll see that later. Form builder. So we can reduce many code.